Dogs, our loyal companions, bring immeasurable joy and companionship. But beneath their unwavering loyalty lies a primal instinct, a reminder of their wild ancestry. This instinct, while often dormant, can erupt with devastating consequences, turning a beloved pet into a source of fear and pain. Aggression, a complex issue with roots in fear, anxiety, or territoriality, can manifest in any breed, shattering the illusion of safety and leaving scars both physical and emotional. The bond between humans and dogs is built on trust, respect, and understanding. When this delicate balance is disrupted, the consequences can be dire, as I've witnessed firsthand in my years of rehabilitating troubled canines. The call came from a distraught owner, his voice trembling as he recounted the harrowing experience of being attacked by his beloved German Shepherd, Max. The owner, a middle-aged man named John, had raised Max from a puppy, nurturing him with love and care. He never imagined that his loyal companion would one day turn against him so violently. What was once a playful puppy had morphed into an unpredictable and aggressive dog, culminating in a vicious attack that left the owner hospitalized. John described how Max had always been full of energy, bounding around the house with a joyful spirit. But over time, subtle changes began to emerge. Max started showing signs of aggression, growling at strangers and becoming possessive of his toys. John tried to address these issues with training and patience, but nothing seemed to work. The pain in his voice was palpable, a mixture of physical pain and the emotional turmoil of betrayal by his once loyal companion. John felt a deep sense of loss, not just from the physical injuries he sustained, but from the emotional bond that had been shattered. He spoke of the countless memories they had shared, from long walks in the park to quiet evenings at home. The betrayal cut deep, leaving him questioning what had gone wrong. Upon arriving at their home, I was met with a scene of chaos. The living room, once a cozy space filled with warmth, was now a battlefield. The walls bore scratch marks, and the floor was littered with torn cushions and broken items. It was clear that Max's aggression had escalated to a point where he was no longer in control. Furniture was overturned, the air thick with tension. The atmosphere was heavy, almost suffocating, as if the very walls were closing in. The sense of unease was palpable, a stark contrast to the home's former tranquility. It was evident that the situation had reached a critical point, one that required immediate intervention. Max, a magnificent specimen of his breed, paced restlessly, his eyes darting nervously, a low growl rumbling in his chest. His once bright and trusting eyes were now clouded with confusion and fear. It was heartbreaking to see such a proud and noble animal reduced to this state. Max's behavior was a clear cry for help, a sign that something was deeply wrong. The energy was chaotic, a whirlwind of fear, anxiety, and aggression. Max's every movement was unpredictable, his body language a mix of tension and readiness to strike. The household had become a powder keg, with Max at the center of it all. The fear in John's eyes mirrored the fear in Max's, a tragic reflection of their broken bond. This once loving pet had transformed into a danger to himself and those around him. The transformation was not just physical but emotional, a complete shift in the dynamic that once defined their relationship. It was a stark reminder of the complexities of animal behavior and the importance of understanding and addressing the underlying issues. As I stood there, I knew that helping Max would require patience, expertise, and a deep understanding of his needs. The journey ahead would be challenging, but it was one that I was committed to undertaking for both Max and John. My initial assessment revealed a dog teetering on the edge, his behavior a cry for help rather than an act of malice. Max, the German Shepherd, was clearly in distress, his eyes reflecting a deep-seated anxiety that couldn't be ignored. His body language was tense, every muscle coiled as if ready to spring, not out of aggression, but out of sheer terror. It was evident that Max was not an inherently aggressive dog, rather he was a victim of circumstances beyond his control. Max, as I soon discovered, had been through a traumatic experience. His past was marred by an event that no dog should ever have to endure. The trauma had left an indelible mark on his psyche, altering his behavior in ways that were both heartbreaking and challenging. It was clear that Max's aggression was a manifestation of his fear, a defense mechanism that had taken root deep within him. A home invasion, during which he was locked in a room while his family was threatened, had left him deeply scarred, his sense of security shattered. The invaders had not only violated the sanctity of his home, but had also instilled a profound sense of helplessness in Max. Being confined in that room, hearing the chaos and threats outside, had been a harrowing experience. This incident had fundamentally altered his perception of safety and trust. This traumatic event had triggered a deep-seated fear and protectiveness in Max, manifesting as aggression towards anyone he perceived as a threat, including his owner. His aggressive displays were not acts of dominance, but rather desperate attempts to protect himself and his loved ones from perceived dangers. Max's world had become a place of constant vigilance, where every stranger was a potential threat, and every unfamiliar sound was a cause for alarm. His once balanced temperament had been hijacked by fear, turning him into a prisoner of his own trauma. The dog that once played joyfully and interacted peacefully with others was now a shadow of his former self. Fear had taken over his life, dictating his actions and reactions. Max's journey to recovery would not be easy, but it was a journey that had to be undertaken for his well-being. To rehabilitate Max, I needed to address the root cause of his aggression, helping him overcome his fear and regain his trust in humans. This process would involve patience, understanding, and a lot of positive reinforcement. It was crucial to create an environment where Max felt safe and secure, gradually exposing him to situations that would help rebuild his confidence. Through consistent training and compassionate handling, the goal was to help Max rediscover the joy of being a dog, free from the shadows of his past trauma. The road to recovery would be long, but with dedication and love, Max could learn to trust again and live a life free from fear. Section 4. Cesar's Arrival, a beacon of hope for chaos. In the midst of a chaotic environment where anxiety and uncertainty reigned supreme, I arrived with a mission. My goal was to bring order and tranquility to Max's life, a German Shepherd who had been struggling with his role and responsibilities. The first step was to establish myself as the pack leader, a role Max desperately needed filled. Without a clear leader, Max had taken it upon himself to protect his family, a task that had overwhelmed him. This responsibility had led to his heightened anxiety and erratic behavior. By stepping into the role of the pack leader, I aimed to relieve him of this burden. Dogs, as pack animals, thrive in structured environments with clear hierarchies. In the wild, a pack's survival depends on the leadership of a strong, confident alpha. This natural instinct is deeply ingrained in domestic dogs as well. When they lack a clear leader, they can become anxious and confused, unsure of their place in the pack. By providing structure and establishing a clear hierarchy, I could help Max find his place and feel secure. By asserting myself as the calm and assertive leader, I aimed to alleviate Max's anxiety, showing him that he didn't need to carry the burden of protection alone. My calm demeanor was crucial in this process. Dogs are incredibly perceptive and can pick up on the energy of those around them. By maintaining a calm and assertive energy, I could project a sense of stability and control that Max desperately needed. My energy was calm yet firm, conveying to Max that I was in control, a source of stability in his chaotic world. This balance of calmness and firmness is essential in dog training. Too much firmness without calmness can come off as aggression, while too much calmness without firmness can be perceived as weakness. Striking the right balance helps in gaining the dog's trust and respect. I avoided direct eye contact, a sign of challenge in the canine world, opting instead for a sideways glance, a less confrontational approach. In the animal kingdom, direct eye contact can be seen as a threat or a challenge. By using a sideways glance, I communicated to Max that I was not a threat, but a leader he could trust and follow. My movements were deliberate and controlled, projecting an aura of calm confidence that resonated with Max's primal instincts. Every action I took was calculated to reinforce my role as the leader. From the way I walked to the way I handled the leash, everything was done with purpose and intention. This consistency helped Max understand what was expected of him and allowed him to relax and follow my lead. In conclusion, my arrival marked the beginning of a transformation for Max. By stepping into the role of the pack leader, I provided him with the structure and stability he needed to thrive. Through calm and assertive energy, deliberate movements, and non-confrontational communication, I was able to alleviate his anxiety and help him find his place in the pack. This journey was not just about training a dog, but about restoring balance and harmony to a chaotic environment, proving that even in the midst of chaos, there can be a beacon of hope. Section 5. Pack Structure, Redefining Roles for Harmony. With each interaction, I reinforced my role as the leader, setting clear boundaries and expectations. Walks were no longer leisurely strolls but structured exercises in following, with me leading the way. Mealtimes, a potential trigger for possessiveness, became opportunities to reinforce my authority, with Max eating only after I gave the signal. This structured environment, while seemingly strict, provided Max with a sense of security he desperately craved. By understanding his place within the pack, he could relinquish the burden of leadership, allowing his anxiety to dissipate and his true personality to emerge. This shift in dynamics was crucial in restoring balance to the pack and paving the way for Max's rehabilitation.